Hi, this is Debbie from Lime Doodle Design, and today for Neat and Tangled I'm going to take a look at the January release. The release contains 4 stamp sets with matching dies and also 2 sequin packs. I'm going to take a quick run through the new release before then going back and looking at each set in a little more detail. The My Favourite Nut set has plenty of options for Valentine's Day, but the images in the set could also be used all year round. There are also matching dies to the set, and I like to keep my dies tucked into the back of the stamp envelope so that everything's together. The Love Note set has a range of bold sentiments that would be great to send to a partner, but I like that there are also options to send to friends. The Love Note set also has matching dies. The Afiya set is jam-packed with leaf images. In fact, this is a prototype because it was so full they couldn't quite squeeze in the thank you ever so much sentiments, and so that had to be omitted from the final set. This set also has a range of matching dies. Finally, we have the Flora heart set, which stamps a beautiful heart-shaped wreath. It comes with 2 dies, one which cuts the inside of the heart shape and one which cuts the outside of the heart shape. Finally, there are 2 sequin packs in the January release, Bubblegum and Sugar Plum. So let's jump in and take a closer look at each of the sets. I don't know if you remember the Nuts About You Stamptember set, which Neat and Tangled designed for Simon Says Stamp, which sold out within a matter of hours, and it's so good to see the squirrel come back in this My Favourite Nut set. In this set you get 2 squirrels hugging within the open nut. You also get 3 individual squirrels and a bunch of accessory images, as well as a selection of sentiments. There are a set of dies that match the My Favourite Nut set, and if you haven't already got a pair, I recommend getting a set of tin snips. I use these to separate off the dies from all my die sets. There's a matching die for the large nut image, the 3 individual squirrel images, also the envelope, the heart, the leaf sprig and the 2 acorns. The Neat and Tangled dies match easily to the images. You match the inner edge of the die to the outline of the image, attach some washi, and then you can run that through your die cutting machine. Although these images won't be difficult to trim out, I do find that die cutting an image, it does give it that nice polished finish. Here's the card I made with the My Favourite Nut set. I stamped the nut image onto a watercolour card and watercoloured, then die cut that out and layered it onto a watercoloured background. Moving on to the Love Note set, and I particularly like how the handwritten font of the love sentiment pairs with the rest of the sentiments in the set. Some of the dies that come with this set match the stamped images, and then there are also a few which are individual dies. I've cut the love die included in the set from red card, and then I've also cut the background image that matches this from white card, and the 2 lay one on top of the other beautifully. The love sentiment, as well as being a die in the set, is also a stamp, and I'm using some Schoolhouse Red ink from Simon Says Stamp to stamp that, and I like to stamp it twice because it's a solid image. You want to make sure you get a really good impression. Then, having stamped the love sentiment, I can use the same outline dies I used previously with the die cut. I can use that to line up around the stamped image and then run it through the die cutting machine. I think it's great that this Love Note set is so versatile that you can have the same sentiment either stamped or die cut. Moving on to the Afiya stamp set, and as I mentioned, the one I have here is a prototype. The final stamp set didn't manage to squeeze in the thank you ever so much sentiment. This stamp set also comes with matching dies, but as I'm laying out these dies, I want you to just take a look at how many images you get with each leaf shape. So along the top row there, you've got 5 images just with 1 leaf shape, and then you have a die that matches any of those outlines. And then with some of the other leaf shapes, you have not only a die that matches the outline of the leaf, but you also have a die that matches the layering images as well. And not only that, because there are so many options for the leaf shapes, you might find that a die that matches a solid layering image also matches a line outline image as well. I made a really quick and simple card with the Afiya set, using just 1 of the dies and making a small dint in my pattern paper stash. I cut 3 leaves from pattern paper, sewed them onto a pattern paper panel, and then just tucked a little bit of foam adhesive under the leaves as I folded them up slightly to give some dimension. And then to finish, I white heat embossed the sentiment underneath. Let's take a closer look at just a few of the leaf options you can create with the images from this set. I've double stamped the solid image in willow ink and then added the vein image in black, although I do think this would also look really nice if it was white heat embossed on top too. The second option would be to add the layering image, which I stamped in olive ink on top of the base layer, and then a third option could be to use a couple of the line outline images, and then those would be ready for colouring. Each of these examples is based on the one leaf shape, and therefore the one die will cut out each example. These 3 leaves are just a small sample of the number of options that you can create with one leaf shape, and then added onto that you have so many different leaf shapes to give you a myriad of different options. Moving on to the Flora heart set, which has 2 dies. There's a smaller die which cuts out the inside of the heart, and then a larger die which cuts the outside of the heart. Alternatively, you can cut the image with both dies to give an individual heart-shaped wreath. To demonstrate this, I've stamped the floral heart image onto 3 pieces of card, and with the first piece of card I've used the internal die to cut out the middle of the heart, and that would give you the option for something like a window card. With the second card I used the large die to cut the outline of the heart, and this leaves the solid piece of card in the middle on which you could stamp the sentiment. For the third card I cut both the outline image of the heart as well as the internal area with the 2 dies, and this gives an individual heart-shaped wreath. So again, the floral heart set gives you lots of options. It's really versatile and well thought out. For my card I used both dies to create a heart-shaped wreath, and then I white heat embossed the sentiment onto a vellum strip and weaved that through the heart-shaped wreath before popping on a squirrel from the My Favourite Nut set. Finally, we mustn't forget the 2 packs of sequins in the January release. The purple one is called Sugar Plum, and each pack contains a variety of different colours and sizes. And then last but not least, you have the pink pack of sequins, and these are called Bubblegum, and again you get a variety of colours and sizes. Well, that concludes my look at the new Neat and Tangled January release. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you want more information about the release, you'll find that on the Neat and Tangled blog, and if you want to find me, I'm over at limedoodledesign.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.